Hi students, in this session now you are going to learn about the Great Northern Plains as well as the Peninsular Plateau. First we will learn about the Great Northern Plains. This fertile land extending across 7 North Indian states. This extensive plain lies to the south of the northern mountains. This plain is one of the most extensive stretches of the alluvium in the world and is deposited by the rivers like Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. It covers an area of over 7 lakh square kilometer. The Great Plains of India is remarkably a homogeneous surface with an imperceptible slope. They are formed mostly by the depositional process of the Himalayan and Vindhyan rivers. These are all the perennial rivers. These rivers deposit enormous quantity of sediments deposited along the foothills and flat plains. First we will discuss about in this one the Bobber Plain. This plain is made up of gravels and unassorted sediments deposited by the Himalayan rivers. The porosity of this plain is so high that most of the small streams flow over this region disappear. It lies to the south of the Shivalik from west to east. And this plain is not suitable for the cultivation. Only the big trees with large roots thrive in this region. Next, the Taroy Tract. It is a zone of excessive dampness, thick forest and rich wildlife. This tract lies to the south of the Bobber Plains. Especially in Brahmaputra Valley, due to the heavy rainfall, we can see the Taroy Tract. The Bangar Plains. The Bangar, it represents the upland alluvial tracts of the Great Plains of India, which is formed by the older alluviums. The Bangar land lies above the flood limits of the rivers. This soil is dark in color, rich in humus content, well drained and useful for agriculture. Next, the Khadar Plains. Bangar Plains are the older alluviums and the Khadar Plains are the newer alluviums. Khadar, it is otherwise known as the wetlands. The Khadar tracts are enriched by fresh deposits of silt every year, rainy season. Delta Plains. The Delta Plain is an extension of the Khadar land. In the Delta region, the uplands are called chars, while the marshy areas are called belts. On the basis of deposition of sediments by various rivers and topographical characters, the northern plains, it is divided into 4 major regions. Rajasthan Plains, Punjab Haryana Plains, Ganga Plains, Brahmaputra Plains, Rajasthan Plains. It is located to the west of Aravalli Range. The river Luni and the long vanished river Saraswati, these only depositing the silt there. There are several salt lakes in Rajasthan. The Sambar Salt Lake near Jaipur is a prominent one. Punjab and Haryana Plains. It lies to the northeast of the Great Indian Desert. This plain acts as water divide. The 2 major watershed divides are Yamuna Satluj and Ganga Yamuna. Next, Ganga Plains. It extends from the Yamuna river in the west to Bangladesh in the east. River Ganga and their tributaries make this Ganga plain as the Great Plain in India by their sediments. It is the largest plain of India. The general slope of the entire plain is towards east and southeast. Brahmaputra Plains. It is located mainly in the state of Assam. It is low-level plain located in the eastern part of the Great Plains of India and is formed by the deposits of river Brahmaputra. These plains create alluvial fans and marshy tracts. Now you are going to learn about the peninsular plateaus. The plateau region lies to the south of the Great Northern Plains. This is the largest physiographic divisions of our country. Aravalli Hills mark the northwestern boundary of the plateau region. Its northern and northeastern boundaries are marked by the Bundelkhand upland, Kaimar and Rajmahal hills. The western and the eastern Ghats mark the western and eastern boundaries. The altitude of a large portion of the plateau is more than 600 meters from mean sea level. The peak of Aanemudi is the highest point in this plateau. Its height is 2695 meter and it is located in the Aanemalai, which is in the Kerala state. The general slope of this plateau is towards east alone. This plateau is a part of the Gondwana landmass. Due to the old age, the rivers in this region attained their base level and developed broad and shallow valleys. The river Narmada divides the plateau region of India broadly into the two parts. The region lying to the north of the Narmada is called as the Central Highlands and the region lying to the south of Narmada is called the Deccan Plateau. All the major rivers which lying to the south of the Vindhyas flow eastwards and fall into the Bay of Bengal. Narmada and Tapti are the two rivers situated to the south of the Vindhyas flow westward, that means in the Arabian Sea. Their movement towards west is due to the presence of a rift valley in this region. First, you are going to learn about the Central Highlands. The Central Highlands extend between the river Narmada and the northern Great Plains. The Aravallis form the west and northwestern edge of the Central Highlands. These hills extend from Gujarat through Rajasthan to Delhi in the northwesterly direction. The height of these hills is about 1500 meter in southwest, while near Delhi the height is hardly 400 meter. Guru Shikhar, it is the highest peak in this range. The western part of the Central Island is known as the Malwa Plateau and the eastern part is known as the Chota Nagpur Plateau. The rivers like Chambal, Betwa and Can drain the Malwa Plateau. The part of the Central Highlands which extends to the east of Malwa Plateau is known as Bundelkhand and its further extension is known as the Baghalkhand. Chota Nagpur Plateau is very rich in mineral resources, particularly iron ore and coal. Next, we will learn about the Deccan Plateau. The shape of this plateau is roughly triangular. One of the sides of this triangle is marked by the line joining Kanyakumari with Rajmahal Hills, and this line passes through the eastern Ghats. The second arm is marked by the Satpura range. The third arm is marked by the western Ghats. The area of the plateau is about 7 lakh square kilometer and the height ranges from 500 to 1000 meter above the sea level. The Western Ghats forms the western edge of the peninsular plateau. It runs parallel to the Arabian Sea coast. The height of the Sahyadri ranges, which is located in the Western Ghats, increases from north to south. Aanemudi is a sort of tri-junction of the Aanemalai range. The Cardamom Hills and the Palani Hills, Kodaikanal is a beautiful hill resort situated on the Palani Hills. Eastern Ghats run from southwest to northeast form the eastern edge of this plateau. Actually, the Western Ghats are continuous range and the Eastern Ghats are the discontinuous range. Eastern Ghats are discontinuous because the rivers of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Pennar and Kaveri have dissected this range at many places. Thank you, children.